now, Mr. President, in a separate part of the record, I'd like to make this statement. I want to turn to another important topic. If you ask parents and grandparents, one of the greatest fears they have about their children is this cell phone. How do you know what those kids are doing on that cell phone? Hour after hour, we hope it's just conversation or games, something innocent, but we know it can be something much, much more. I want to congratulate Leader Schumer on his decision to introduce Kids Online Safety Package. The Senate Judiciary Committee, which I chair, has worked tirelessly throughout this Congress to address the danger big tech is posing to our children and grandchildren. In February last year, the committee held a hearing on how to protect our kids online. We heard from a mother who lost her son after he was bullied online, a teen advocate who struggled with the impact of social media on her mental health, and many experts. In January, the committee held a historic hearing with the 5 big tech CEOs. The room was filled with survivors, parents, and family members whose lives have been impacted by big tech's failures. The emotion I felt during that hearing as I looked at their faces was unforgettable. Their grief was palpable, but so was their sense of purpose. They were there with a mission to confront the CEOs and demand that Congress finally enact legislation to make the online world safer for our kids and hold these tech companies accountable. The hearing demonstrated that kids' online safety has widespread bipartisan support. Mr. President, you know this personally. No other topic has brought the members of that committee together from across the political spectrum as powerfully as this one. We propose 5 different measures to enforce the law against the big tech operations that pay no attention to what's happening with what they broadcast on their media. And the final vote in that committee, a committee which is as diverse as anything ever gathered in Congress, was unanimous. Democrats and Republicans agreeing. How about that, America? Can you believe it? On an issue that important, every single senator of both political parties voted for the legislation. That's why I think when we get into an honest conversation about helping families fight this danger to their kids and grandkids, we need to move toward the provisions that we've enacted in the committee. The bipartisan support was further demonstrated when the committees unanimously reported all 5 bills, including my Stop CSAM Act, that would finally hold big tech accountable. Here's what it boiled down to. The bills that are coming to the floor from the Commerce Committee are good bills, but they turn to the Federal Trade Commission and other agencies to enforce the law and to police these big tech companies. That's not enough. I've talked to the heads of these agencies, and they're willing to take on this responsibility, but they need dramatic increases in resources and personnel to make it work. In the meantime, our approach is to hold the companies civilly responsible with the possibility of lawsuits and litigation to enforce it. That will get their attention, and they'll finally come to the protection of these families. The lack of accountability and consequences for their actions that big tech has enjoyed for decades has allowed the likes of Amazon, Meta, Snap, and other tech companies to ignore the risks of their platforms posed to kids. COSA and COPA, as they are known, are positive steps toward challenging this dynamic. I can support them, but we need more. We've got to get serious. If we create civil liability for wrongdoing, there will be an enforcement mechanism powerful enough to deal with these companies. I'll continue to advocate for a vote on my Stop CSAM and any other measures that make the internet safer for our kids. With that, I yield the floor.